Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, it's Monday, September the 2nd in Hong Kong, and I don't know what news filter to the outside still. I'm sure a lot of people are getting bored with this Hong Kong protesting, although it has escalated to a next level last Saturday. Everyone here also is getting quite bored with it, but it's still going on, and now that the schools have restarted, even the secondary students are out protesting in the streets, not even sure if they understand why and all the ins and outs of the thing. Be warned, there's going to be a few, as you can see on the videos here, there's protests ongoing right now this afternoon. I'm going to put some videos from local news. They're quite upsetting, so if you don't like to see ultra violence, just look away or just move on to the next watch video. And somebody was asking me about the watch market here in Hong Kong as a result of this protest. And it's still okay. There's just so many buyers here in Hong Kong. The guy at the Rolex shop I just went in, it's funny, they had all three dials of the two-tone Sky Dweller. I went in, tried on the black one. It's quite a heavy watch with the yellow gold, but he still won't give me the time of day, pardon the pun. When I start talking about steel, he doesn't care at all. They're just there to sell to tourists from the Four Seasons Hotel right next door to it. And the second-hand dealers were telling me, yeah, less tourists, but maybe it's even for the better, because they can be such a nuisance in this business. And there's still enough people buying steel sports, and you're still not going to find your Nautilus straight away at the Patek shop or any steel at the Rolex shop. Although I did see a nice black dial Milgauss today. So that's about it for the watch news. So this Saturday during the weekend, the protest escalated, just fire on the streets everywhere, petrol bombs everywhere, and the police was mixing blue dye, D-Y-E, to the water cannons that they started using last week to try to tag the protesters and be able to arrest them easier. I shouldn't say protesters, I should just say rioters. Protesters is the people I see today down there, just voicing their opinion peacefully. Last weekend was just full riot mode everywhere, and anybody who goes against them is just exposing himself to harm. One guy was getting fed up in his car, tried to go through a blockade, and although his wife was also in the car, they started destroying the car. And then because the subway company had closed some station last week ahead of a protest, it was also the target, so now they started vandalizing railway stations. I mean, the next day it's their parents' tax money which is going to be used. When I say they, I mean students, it's mostly kids on the streets. It's their parents' tax money that's going to be used to fix those. That doesn't help anything, and if anything, it's going to precipitate Beijing's involvement. And one might wonder why Beijing is not doing much so far. I think it just serves their purpose. If it just goes too crazy, some people might just expect them to come in and rein in the situation, while otherwise we have until 2047 this one country, two system. And so yeah, protesters who wreaked havoc, and on Sunday, yeah, they were trying to block, or they managed to block the airport again and throwing things on the railway station. And you're gonna see a picture which says a lot. Just one idiot throwing things on the high-speed railway between the Central and the airport, and 50 photographers, 50 cameramen around him. So much about this protest is completely staged. By who? It's easy to manipulate students, and especially given the current mass hysteria. Very easy to manipulate young minds. There are also abuse going in both directions. And you're gonna see a very quiet images on my video of Hong Kong. At the same time, The zoo is completely empty of visitors, so we had a nice little walk at the zoo, and residential areas are still are quiet. It's not like we're fighting everywhere in the street and everything is burning. You sort of have a semi-normal weekend, but on the Monday, because the schools have reopened, you start getting worried about your kid getting on the bus and having to cross the harbor because some rioters might block it. The cops might come in, and your kid is going to see that, maybe get stuck, maybe there's going to be some tear gas bomb thrown next to the bus. What's going to happen? Students, they don't think about that. They just think about themselves. They just think about their own little self. So they've done all their lives. They say it's the future of Hong Kong. I don't think this is the way. I have a bit more constructive ideas to protest. How about next month everybody in Hong Kong pays half rent? So the big problem in Hong Kong, and actually the protesters their demands are they have multiple demands. Some are really futile, such as, don't call our riot a riot, otherwise we're going to create a riot. It's just nonsense. I mean, drop that kind of, and they want investigations about police violence. You're violent with the police is going to be violent with you. In a real democracy, you will be shot in the face already. I think the police has been very passive up to now. It's been dragging on too long. And the protests are very vague. Okay, you want democracy, a good thing, etc. Let's not forget that Hong Kong depends a lot from mainland China for power, resources, and everything. So you can't just completely cut all the ties. The situation of Hong Kong, and then observers says, okay, the problem with Hong Kong is because of high property prices. Protesters don't even mention that. It is true. So Hong Kong is basically ruled not by the government, but by property tycoons, billionaires, gazillionaires, who call the shots and prevent the government from taking any action. And with mainland money flowing in freely, uncontrolled, and being able to buy apartments, keeping them empty, just pushing up prices, crazy speculations, also from Hong Kong landlords themselves and from the property tycoons, is just an insane situation. So, block the government, block the properties of the tycoons, block their malls, and how about everybody next month pay half rent, the month after pay no rent, see where it takes us. And I think everybody could get behind that. I mean, the real situation is that even those big billionaire property tycoons, they still have to respond to their big master, which is the Communist Party. Communist Party, it's not exactly the communist that you have in your mind. It's more like a group of billionaires who siphon off money from the billion Chinese people and launder it through big banks here in Hong Kong, basically. And but they have to ensure that people still get reasonable wealth, so they don't revolt. And the trade war that Trump is waging on them is hurting China a lot more than it could hurt the US. So well done, Donald, on that. So it's a very tricky situation right now for the Communist Party. They still have to validate themselves to their population. And the thing with the communists, they want to control everything you say, your family ties. Basically, they want to be your daddy, and control everything you think and how you dress. And this is what we don't want here in Hong Kong. And I think that's fair enough. And so where this whole protest is going, the problem is everybody thinks it's just going nowhere. It just keeps on. It has no end, because the government here is absolutely powerless. They do not dare saying anything. If you go against the party, against Beijing, you have two options: you die or you go to jail. Look at Jack Ma. He became too big for his own self. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. As long as it's just Alibaba and you sell plastic crap to the US, that's good. But when you start your own banking offering, your on a credit system, then you compete with the Chinese banks, which have. So you have to line up with the agenda of the party. And suddenly Jack Ma says, "Oh, I don't want to be an old CEO," and he has to relinquish his shares in part of his businesses. That was interesting, and he'll pretend that it's just for the good of his company. Okay, Jack. So yeah, he's just basically try to avoid waking up dead, or waking up in a jail, never to be seen again. And this is why people are protesting here. And yeah, I don't have a solution for you, but I think there are more clever ways to protest and disrupt, and most importantly, not put innocent people, women and children, at risk in the malls, in the subway, in the school buses, at the schools themselves, because now rioters are infiltrating the schools this morning as the schools are reopening, trying to bring in more kids to ditch school today and to go in the streets. Yeah. So you see, it's I'm talking a lot because it's a long discussion. You can see that for someone living in Hong Kong, you have a lot on your mind, and your mind goes in different ways, and you want to support the protest, and at the same time you're fed up with it. I think I'm just expressing the general opinion here. But anyway, let me know what you think about all this. And yeah, it looks like the typhoon is going away. Still very cloudy and still crazy rain from 1 second to the next, and then it gets very eerily quiet. Yeah, looks like a long evening of protest is profiling. I still have to work anyway, and hopefully today the kids can go to school safely. And all right, I think I've spoken too long. I wish you a good week, guys. Bye bye.